6-month supplies, 1-year supplies, fruit and veggie snack mix. It's all there. And, you know, I was talking to Steve, or my crew was, and I said, send over talking points of why you think people should have storable foods. And it's exactly what I think. I personally just use the storable foods after a few years, even though it lasts 10 or more years, or I give it to charity, and people really like it because I always have enough for myself, my family, and my neighbors. So I'm about to make more purchases myself and rotate out the 3-year-old food I've got. I rotate food out every 3 years. It's just an insurance policy I can eat. It's also great when you go camping. This is the highest quality. Steve, you've got these points here. The need for preparedness, the upcoming storm, it's already here, whether it's economic, political, or natural driven.
Yes.
Let's go over it all here with what's happening. Texas wants its gold back, all the things that are happening. You heard, but first off, thank you for giving us such a great offer and partnering with InfoWars to bring folks InfoWars Select. Am I hyping it that this is the lowest ever that you've gone?
This is, yes, the lowest we've ever gone. And basically, we really wanted to make a good impression to, you know, your customers and give everybody a chance to really try our products.
Well, they're amazing. And I mean, I was just honest. I went around because I would like to have 4 or 5 sponsors, and you guys just have the best food at the lowest price. So that's why we have one company. That's My Patriot Supply. How do you guys have such quality and still have the lowest prices? I guess you just have smaller profit margins?
We do. It's, for us, we actually live, eat, and breathe preparedness. So really, this is just a bunch of people who are really into preparedness, who are trying to share this preparedness movement with people. As for our food, it all begins with our ingredients. We just don't settle for any ingredients. We actually go out and we analyze these things. We truly want to have 25-year shelf life food. And, you know, some people may cut corners. You're not going to get that with My Patriot Supply. We really want this to be available to people when they need it. When that time strikes, they need to know that they can rely upon our food and our products.
Well, the packaging alone is the best in the industry, and that's why you've gone from being small in 5 years to dominating. Let's go through the quality of the food and what folks will find at InfoWarsSelect.com. That URL will take you directly to the InfoWars store subpage and pages that have the full spectrum, the full layout of the same foods you can get at My Patriot Supply that are excellent as well, just at a little bit lower price, and support the InfoWar as well. Talk about some of the quality of the food, and then let's get into why you think people should be getting prepared now. I mean, I know when I called you guys a few months ago, I said, let me guess, your sponsors, I bet you guys are having trouble at your factories keeping supply. And you go, yeah, it's exploded. I mean, because people can see what we're warning about starting to come true. I hope people don't need this food, but this is a no-brainer to not be dependent on the system. People must have storable food.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, it begins with our ingredients. So one thing for sure, we have no MSG. We have no autolyzed yeast extract. We want our food to taste just as good in 25 years as it will now. So we have the best packaging in the industry. Not all Mylar is created equal. So we provide a true military-grade barrier against light, oxygen, moisture. And you could see the totes that this food's packaged in. It's made to be either stored underneath a bed or stacked in a closet. You can throw it in the back of your vehicle. It's made for somebody to carry along with them. Now, you're saying, you know, why do people need to prepare now? Well, one of the things that I can tell you is I know people are preparing now. I mean, our food is going out as soon as it is produced on our production line. Literally, it is going out that fast. I think the global climate now, with what they're seeing politically, economically, people feel this need to be prepared, whether or not they want to call themselves preppers or whether they feel that they're in a preparedness movement. A lot of people are waking up to the fact that something is happening. And I could just tell you from our sales, we cannot keep enough food stored. I mean, we're literally producing it and getting it out to people. And there is so much of an awakening going on right now that other food manufacturers, other people that are in food storage have contacted My Patriot Supply to ask if we could help package some of this for them to get it out to the people. But right now, I assure you, our priority is for your show, Alex, your website, InfoWarsSelect.com, and for our own customers with MyPatriotSupply.com.
Absolutely. And when you back off at this and look at it from the big picture, there's a lot of aggressive advertising out there, people claiming this, people claiming that, but we've done the deep research on this. You guys really are the best deal out there, the quickest delivery, manufacturing your own food, keeping the standards the highest is what I choose for my family, and you're patriots. You're not fly-by-night groups. You're not Johnny-come-latelys. You're here for the long haul. And I'm not going to bash some of the other groups. There's some other great groups out there. There's some other really high-quality groups. They just cost a lot more when you're similar food for a lot less. So you can get stuff as good out there. It's going to cost you twice as much or 3 times as much. But I've, tested out the stuff you get at the Urban, Outfitters and, REI and the rest of it versus what you've got. And yours is just as good or better for a third or half the price, depending on what the product is. But your protein pack specials, all of it is just essential. And I know you don't want to get into your customers, but I happen to know the inside baseball industry wide. Government, police departments, corporations, rich people are hoarding food now. I hope we don't go into a major depression. But I think the smartest move for people that can afford it is to have a 2-year food supply. But if you don't have a 3-month food supply for your whole family, folks, I believe you are being recklessly negligent. It's so affordable at InfoWarsSelect.com, and the little bit of profit we make helps fund this operation. We're about to launch the TV network, so much more. I only have a sponsor on the show maybe once a month to help promote things. We don't have an infomercial format, but this is also a public service announcement. If you don't have your preparedness straight, you're crazy. I mean, look at the stock market. Look at Texas wanting its gold back. Talk about that, Steve.
Well, this is just an example of how people in general are really not trusting what's going on with the federal government. I'm not saying that everybody is bad and everything is wrong, but people are starting to wake up and realize that they have to start taking responsibility for themselves. So if we look at like a state like Texas, I admire what they're doing. It's a group of people in that state that are thinking, hey, we need to join together and be prepared for what's going on. They can see what direction the federal government is going. And I think a lot of people would agree that the states elected to have a federal government. It wasn't the federal government electing to have states. So, where does all of this lead us? It leads us to the fact that the individual person needs to be prepared, needs to take responsibility and take care of him or herself to be empowered. Having this food is just one part of that. The naysayers will say something like the state of Texas will want to secede from the nation. It's not about that. People should be.
It's about we can't trust the private Federal Reserve to hold the gold. It turns out most of it's covered with tungsten. I heard that 15 years ago as a rumor. It was confirmed last year. I mean, the whole thing is a paper tiger. It's coming down. If not this year, next year, the next, I don't know. It's just the whole thing is like building a house on top of an active volcano. It's insane. Steve, I want to start checking in with you once a month. I also want to get you on the nightly news or some of your, you also have another news spokesman that's aware of some of the trends that's happening out there. But thank you for helping us bring your super high quality food, private labeled, directly to InfoWarsStore.com customers, InfoWarsSelect.com to find the My Patriot Supply food. We also are selling your food, the exact same food, right next to it at InfoWarsStore.com. Great job. Thank you so much for giving us and our listeners such a great deal, Steve. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Folks, it's InfoWarsSelect.com. People keep calling me, hey, where do I get storable food? Who's the best? We have a sponsor. They're great. Now they private label for us. It's the best deal they've ever offered. InfoWarsStore.com. We are back, broadcasting worldwide, live from the InfoWars.com news centers in Austin, Texas, where we're trying to break through people's trance through their brainwashing. And if people don't get prepared mentally, physically, economically, it's just crazy. And it doesn't mean having storable foods or a garden is going to save the world, but that attitude is. Now, I want to open the phones up in the next hour and cover a ton of news. The toll-free number to join us on any of the issues, any of the items I've raised, you're welcome to call in. I'd love to hear from you. Agree, disagree, whatever the case may be. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. How arrogant is it, though, of political correctness, and how buffaloed is the West to say you're going to accept millions of people into your country and you got to pay for them, but Saudi Arabia won't take one refugee, and neither will any of the other Arab states. It's just a joke. I'm going to break that down at the start of the next hour because it's so important. On the 15th anniversary of 9/11, can you believe it's been that long? Is it the 14th or the 15th? I'm having one of those mental snafus. Yeah, it's the 15th anniversary of that attack. Are we safer now than we were then? No, our government is running ISIS and Al-Qaeda and protecting them, and that's in the news. And the former head of Defense Intelligence, in fact, cue that back up for next hour, went public, and then another top general went public and said, we are protecting them, we helped fund them, and I followed orders. And the intelligence is being covered up. Well, now 50 spies have gone public and blown the whistle on the eve of 9/11, on the anniversary, and said that they put out the proper intelligence of what ISIS was doing from the beginning, and that it's covered up, and that fake intelligence is created above them, which is a fraud, which is a criminal act in every sense of the meaning. And then we have a lot of these refugees that are criminals, that are military-age men that turn out to be ISIS coming into the West, and the answer is in Germany, don't wear short skirts. You've got to comply with the visitors, with the precious migrants that show up and say, give us everything free. And then Donald Trump, who'd come out, we're going to play this clip, and said a few days ago, hey, we got to take them. Merkel's doing a great job. We got to bring these people into America. Nobody else will. Trying to be politically correct. He's now backpedaled. Let's play this clip. Here he is with Sean Hannity.
Well, it's a serious problem. We haven't seen anything like it since the Second World War, and it's getting worse and worse. And I was actually impressed in one way, but surprised that Merkel in Germany allowed this to happen, because they're really flowing through all over Europe. And if you notice, Russia's not taking, and China's not taking, and the Gulf states, whether you look at Saudi Arabia or Qatar or any of them, they're taking none. But some of them are, and some of them are actually being very generous. It just really, I wonder, you know, where all these people are coming from exactly, and what are they representing? Because do you have people from ISIS in that group? You know, there's a lot of security risk with it, but something has to be done. It's an unbelievable humanitarian problem.
Something must be done. Now, when we come back, we're going to launch the phone system, and we're going to start taking your phone calls at 800-259-9231. And I'm going to get into all the economic news, all the Hillary news. Her fall is becoming more assured by the moment. John Boehner meeting secretly with the communist leader of the world, the Pope, and more. That's all in the third hour. All right, we played the original clip earlier, if you just joined us, of Trump saying we got to bring the illegals in, because it's our job to pay for everybody. Here's the new clip with Hannity, with him backing off of that. And I mean, the big problem is, how do you flip-flop from we can't take all these people, there's a lot of criminals from around the world trying to get here, which is true, to now we got to take all these people, when really it's the jails and the criminals and the welfare heads that the Middle East is dumping out and won't take any of them back in. Let's go ahead and go to this clip of Trump backpedaling.
Look, from a humanitarian standpoint, I'd love to help, but we have our own problems. We have so many problems that we have to solve. You have over there the Gulf states, tremendously wealthy. You have five groups of people, 6 groups. They're not taking anybody. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, these are tremendously wealthy and